Hello, everyone. Happy Monday to you. Welcome to Parent to Parent. I'm Tanya Farron, your host for this show. Excited to be here with you today as we dig into the Nutritious Lunchbox with Lisa Feveck. I'm excited to have her on my show. I'll introduce her in just a second. Couple of things you'll be able to see today. I want to share some things with you. You can check out a copy of my book, Raising the Well-Adjusted Child, a Parent's Manual. It's on Amazon. So check that out today. Get yourself a copy. You can also click that QR code at the top of the screen, and that will take you to the page to purchase as well. Also, for you, I have a book study opportunity for you with some parents, whether it's your school or another way that you want to connect with other parents. We can put together a book study on my book, Raising the Well-Adjusted Child, a Parent's Manual. Get together, have some fun, talk about raising kids and doing some fun things with that. Lastly, for you, I've also got my Parent to Parent YouTube channel. As you can see, this is showing this event with Lisa Feveck right now, because this is going live right now on my YouTube channel. So you can stay tuned for all of the events that are going live, that are coming soon. Check those out and come back and listen to the ones that we've already had going back in. You'll see things that will resonate with you. But for today's guest, we've got Lisa Feveck with us. She is a registered dietitian. She talks a lot about the diet and menopause. She's on TikTok. She's on LinkedIn, probably some other social media channels that I don't know anything about. She's been on our show before, and we're going to talk about building that nutritious lunchbox. So welcome, Lisa. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, thanks for having me. Always a pleasure to share some knowledge with the audience.
Yes, we're excited to have you here very much. Tell them a little bit about you, Lisa. Anything that I missed?
No, I don't think so. My focus is on perimenopause and menopause, but I'm a dietitian first. So I train to see everyone from babies to getting into your golden years. So it's always nice to share something else outside of menopause sometimes. But the advice that I'm giving today, anyone can use. So if you're an adult and you're packing your lunch for work, you can certainly take the same advice and apply it to yours.
I love that. I do. I think that's incredible. And there's a lot of us that pack our lunches every day. And even as an educator, I always brought my lunch to work because I didn't really have time to go to the cafeteria. It was just easier if I grabbed my lunch and opened it up and ate it at my desk or took it to the staff room. But you're right. There's really not, and we could never leave to go anywhere. It wasn't like we could do that. And DoorDashing
and all of that,
DoorDashing can get expensive, and the office doesn't always like it when you DoorDash your orders to the office either. So I'll tell you that much. Well, I want to take a minute to thank everybody for joining us today. Hi, Leslie Flowers. Thanks for joining us today.
Hi,
we appreciate you. Yes, she's amazing. Jackie Hallberg, thanks for joining us. Hey. So sweet of you to come today. And Leslie's coming from North Carolina. Hello, Miss Natalie Thomas. Thanks for joining.
Hi.
Christy Williams. So nice to see everyone. I know we do love Lisa. Thank you, Christy. Love you too, darling. I do. I always learn from her.
Thanks.
Yes. Menopause or not, we can all improve what we eat. Exactly. So we've got some great questions. You can always type your questions into the chat also for Lisa as we're going through talking about this nutritious lunchbox. So the first question is, why do you think it's important for us to talk about this topic of building a nutritious lunchbox to make for our kids?
So kids are at that developmental stage where they're growing, they're shooting up quickly. I hear parents say every time they come out of the August vacation, they have to buy new clothes or new shoes because they've grown again. But that's what food does. It helps us grow, it helps us get stronger, but also for brain development as well. Remember, they're going back to school, and it's been proven that if they start off with a healthy breakfast, they learn better, they focus more, they aren't tired, they aren't falling asleep in class. So having nutritious meals are important for kids but also for adults as well, for us to function, for any of us to function at our best, your foundation is always good food. So
Yeah.
it's really important that, especially if you're packing your school lunches, I know sometimes we children get the school feeding in at schools, but if you're packing lunches, you really want to take that time to ensure that they're getting the best out of what you can afford.
Yes, and it is true, like you can purchase a school lunch for an inexpensive amount, but a
Mm.
lot of times I've been in a lot of cafeterias and the kids don't eat them. They won't eat the school provided lunches a lot of times. And I know that they do so much to try and manage the quality of the food, but honestly, it's not the same. It
Yeah,
really just isn't. And I hate to say this. I've worked in schools for a long time, and I know they work very hard behind the kitchens, but it usually ends up being a yellow meal: corn, a breaded chicken patty on a bun, and something else. And it's
yeah.
usually just. We always said that as teachers, we're like, another yellow meal. Like there's
Mhm.
really no color or vibrancy for these kids, or that appealing look. And
Yeah,
so I think that's important too, that we pay attention to as packing these lunches, is getting all those colors and all
yeah,
of that vibrant into our school lunches that we are packing for our kids, which also means we have to introduce those foods to our kids so that they want to use them. But I love
yeah,
that you talked about their brain and making sure that they had food to fuel their brain.
yeah. And it's important because there's a saying, you eat with your eyes first.
Mm,
And that's not by chance. When you look at food and you're excited about food, you're actually telling your brain, okay, get ready to accept food. So those digestive processes actually get triggered when you look at a meal, when you smell the food.
mhm.
So the more interesting the food looks, the more excited you are to have the meal. It actually produces more stomach acid to break down the food. It actually tells the body, send blood towards the intestines because we're getting ready to accept food. It creates more saliva in your mouth. So having a meal that doesn't look interesting, you're not telling the brain, okay, it's time to eat. So it's not going to taste well. You're probably going to get nauseous or gassy because your body is literally not prepared to take the food.
I have never learned that. Oh my gosh, I always learn something new from you, but it makes perfect
Yeah,
sense, right? That's probably why when I'd see these trays of yellow food, the kids aren't eating it.
yeah,
They're probably not interested in a lot of
yeah. And it will actually, to them, it will actually taste worse than if they were excited about the food because your brain is telling them, okay, this something is wrong with this. It's unsafe or something like that. So your body literally isn't prepared for that digestive process to start.
Oh my gosh, that is so true. I didn't think about that your body wouldn't be prepared for that.
Yeah,
Amazing. Well, I know there's a lot of families and a lot of kids love those Uncrustables. They love peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I think people are raised on those for
yeah.
many years. Tell me, what would you think? PB&J versus turkey sandwich. Which one do you
Yeah.
think would, or which one is the better nutritional choice for kids
So
or
you,
adults?
yeah. So you remember, I like to take it back to basics because I want people to remember things easily and not have to think too much about it. Food should be enjoyed, right? Not be this sort of extra
Mhm,
lesson you have to study.
mhm.
So when it comes to food, and this is both for adults or children, you need a source of protein, a source of carbohydrates, because that's where you're getting the energy from. And actually, your brain needs a source of carbohydrates, simple sugars to operate well, and then a healthy source of fat. So whether it's a PB&J, whether it's turkey, whether it's chicken, it doesn't really matter. And your body actually likes variety. So doing the same sandwich every day, it goes back to that, okay, things are boring, I'm not getting those digestive processes starting because my brain isn't triggered properly. So if one day you want to do PB&J and the other day you want to do turkey, that's great. But the idea is, what is your source of protein? What is your source of carbohydrates, that sugars, those energy foods? And then what is your source of fat? So let's take the PB&G. Peanut butter has the fat and the protein. Now, can I buy a better type of peanut butter so I get maybe less fat? Sure.
Mm.
I know some people like smooth, some people like chunky. It really doesn't matter at that point. And especially for young children where they're already picky eaters, you want to give them something they will enjoy. The jelly, okay, so the jelly has is high sugar. So you may not want to put a lot of that, but there's certainly nothing wrong with it. Because what you also want to encourage kids to do is to run after. You want them to move after they eat so they can burn up those sugars. And I know there's you all call it Wonder Bread, a white bread.
Right,
So
correct.
not the healthiest choice of bread, but what is more important is that your kids eat something. So you don't want to buy, let's say, a whole wheat bread that they're not going to eat, and maybe they throw it away or give it away and they eat nothing. Or
Mm.
they turn to something, another unhealthy snack like potato chips for lunch. So if they like the white bread, it's okay at that point because you have the peanut butter. Yes, the jelly may be extra sugars, but what you want to do is the next meal, you try to give them something healthier so it balances out for the day.
Oh, I love
Right?
that.
Yeah. So I know we are on the internet and we always like, if you eat white bread, you will die. It's not that serious. Okay, it's what you do consistently. And for kids, what you want them to do is not be afraid of food. So if they like the white bread, okay, give them that sandwich because you want them to eat with the kids, eat for lunch. But in the afternoon, maybe give them some potatoes and you keep the skin on for more fiber. Or you do little baby carrots or chop up broccoli and you call them broccoli trees and you stick them in mashed potatoes. You know, there are different ways you could make things interesting. Of course, it depends on the age of the kid, right, of the child. But it at that point, it really doesn't matter. It's important that they eat something because you want them to go back to the class and be focused and have the energy to study the afternoon classes.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is some really, really great advice for adults and for
Yeah.
kids. You know, a lot of times I'll see teachers that they don't eat lunch. They don't have time to eat lunch. And I see a lot of administrators, principals that choose to not eat because they just don't have time. And I never really was of that school of thought. I always was
Yeah.
like, I deserve to nourish my body, but if somebody needs to meet with me, I'm going to eat my salad while I'm talking to you. You feel free to bring your
Yeah.
lunch in too. You know, we can talk and work at the same time. You know, that was kind
Yeah.
of always my go-to, but a lot of people don't. But I love the fact that you said eat something and then you can work on kind of improving that nutrition at dinner,
Right. Yeah.
and providing that more of a different type of a meal for them where you're looking at maybe not so much sugar or something like that for them. I
Yeah.
love
And I
that you
love
said,
that idea that you had where you invite the parent or whoever you're talking to eat with you
mm-hmm.
because you're creating a space where the parent is probably rushing from work to have a meeting with you.
Sure.
They're probably hungry as well. So you
Yeah.
create that environment that, it's okay if you want to bring your lunch. And it's certainly understandable that you get busy, but this is where maybe having a protein drink or a smoothie that you can drink while you're doing work. So there are ways to get around it. But yeah, I agree with you. It's never a good thing to skip meals because we all need energy to focus and to do our work. And the only way you get that is from food.
Yeah. That is just what I'm hearing so much of is this focus and energy from our food. That's
Mm.
amazing. Hi, Linda, and also hi,
Hi.
Nick. Thank you for joining us today. Appreciate you both
Hi,
being
Trini.
here. Your Trini friend. And Christy asked, do you recommend all natural peanut butter?
So it is a better choice than some of the other ones because the natural peanut butter is usually just peanuts that they've ground up and put in the jar. The others tend to have more sugar, more oils, but it doesn't taste as good. So it tastes a little weird.
It
So
does.
so for children, it may not be the best choice to give them that. Again, it's what are they going to eat? So maybe if you have the not so healthy peanut butter, you can pair it with apple slices. You all have something called ants on a log, right? We
Yes,
didn't grow up
yes.
with that.
Ants on a log, yes. It's a
The
piece of celery
celery,
with peanut butter and
right.
raisins,
So
yes.
maybe that's the less healthy peanut butter you keep for the ants on the log. So you get this celery, which is high fiber, and whether you use peanuts or you use raisins or whatever's the ants part,
Yeah.
it's a healthier choice than maybe putting that peanut butter in a sandwich. But again, it's more important that your child eats something. But again, ways around it, right? So the apple has fiber. It's a better choice than maybe a slice of white bread.
Yeah.
But if they're a picky eater, then it's important that they eat.
Yes. Yes, it is. And also, Christy wanted to know, is white or wheat bread a healthier choice?
Yes, so they are growing varieties of whole wheat that is white, so that if you buy white bread, it's still higher fiber content. Yeah, that's a great choice. So
Mm,
maybe that's a workaround to the plain white bread for
sure.
your children.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And Nick, she agrees we shouldn't overthink. We have good things
Yeah,
to eat on hand. Exactly. Exactly.
yeah. Don't make food the stressful part of your day.
Yeah, really, you
Yeah.
shouldn't. And there's a lot of things. I know a lot of parents are busy, they're working,
Mm.
and so finding things like those Uncrustables or things like that that your kids will eat for lunch, protein bar, maybe they might like something like that. I've seen parents make smoothies. I've seen a lot of leftovers brought to school. Kids like,
Yeah,
leftover spaghetti and meatballs in a
yeah,
thermos. They bring that a lot. They enjoy those types of things. And
yeah. And
so,
with the Uncrustables, it tends not to be the healthiest choices. It's
right.
very high sugar, it's very processed, but you can take the same idea of the Uncrustables and make your own. So I know there are these kind of cookie cutters that press out the bread. So you put the jam and the peanut butter in the bread and you make your own crustable, right? And you toast it like that. You could pack cute things. So again, it depends on the age of the child and what appeals to them. You buy cute containers, cute lunch bags. Some children, they will eat baby carrots, but if you chop up carrots, they won't eat it. So spend a couple extra bucks and buy the baby carrots,
Yeah.
right? Give them things to dip with. So mashed potatoes, freshly made mashed potatoes are a good dip. If they want honey mustard, look for one that has a lower sugar, but it's okay to eat honey mustard with your veggies because
Hmm.
vegetables actually need a source of fat to absorb vitamins. So
Hmm.
having like a ranch dip or a Caesar salad dip in a cute container and you pack your veggies in a Ziploc bag, that's a good way for them to have something fun to eat, but they're getting their veggies in.
Yeah. Yeah. And honestly, I'm sitting here thinking of a lot of things like that you're talking about. One, making those Uncrustable sandwiches with your kids. You could do that on a Sunday and they could make 4 or 5 of them
Yeah, and let them
and
make it. Yeah.
and Ziploc them and put them
Hmm.
in the fridge. It would probably save you so much money. I mean, a loaf
Money,
of bread
yes.
is probably $2. I don't even know how much these Uncrustables that are frozen or whatever, how much they cost. But I think even like peanut butter with honey is delicious too. So I think that's a
Yeah,
delicious little snack or lunch. But that would be fun for them. They do have those little stamp out things and then have them in the fridge and then the kids can help with that. Especially,
yeah.
I mean, I would say just in my own experience, when a child is probably 5 going to kindergarten, with supervision, they can probably help start spreading
They can
peanut
do
butter
a
on
lot. Yeah.
bread and they can smash it, they can put it in a baggie, then they have ownership of it, then they made their own lunch. They can even probably spread their peanut butter on celery and make their ants on a log and
Yeah,
put
because
that
we
in a
have
container.
plastic knives.
Yeah,
So you
plastic
can give
knives.
them
Sure.
plastic utensils
Sure.
and get them accustomed spreading stuff.
Yeah.
You may have to take the peanut butter and mix it about a little bit to make it smoother.
Sure.
But you could, put a separate peanut butter, amount of peanut butter in a small container that's just for them.
Well, and I'm thinking too, as you're talking about dips and stuff and ranches, I just have disguised a lot in Greek yogurt that my family doesn't even know about. Whenever we have family dinner, there's always a few snacks sitting around when people arrive. And
Yeah.
I'll just make like my dip and put like the ranch dip inside the Greek yogurt, the packet.
Yep,
And
that's
it's a
excellent.
healthier choice and they don't even know the difference.
Yeah,
So I think getting them interested in helping, I think, is really important for them too.
very, very important. Yeah.
And I think we can also get away from, they have these great little bento boxes for kids where they can
Oh,
put
yes.
like, they can make their own Lunchables, you can
Yeah.
get cheese and slice it up
And
and you
so
can put
cute
your,
too. So many different colors and
yeah,
design. I think it's an excellent thing. Yeah.
yeah, there's lots of little ways to get them involved. And I think the other thing as parents, we sometimes take on that I have to pack their lunch. I have to get them ready while I'm trying to get ready
Yes.
and I'm packing my own lunch. So thinking about maybe developing a plan, whether it be Monday night or Sunday afternoon, when you can help get things prepped for yourself for your lunches as well as for your
Yeah.
kids, is always a good plan too.
Yeah. And I think that extends to even the shopping. Take them shopping with you. Give them the different colors of the fruits and vegetables. So there are 5 colors that we should cover: the red and pink. And why I say the colors is because each fruit and vegetable that falls in that color group, it's similar types of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants. So you don't have to remember, okay, which one has vitamin C and which one has magnesium. You're keeping it simple. Buy a different colors. So you could actually give them like cards with the colors in it. Red group, the yellow and orange is one group, your green group, purples, blues is another group, and then your white, your tan, your brown, that's your next group. So that's 5 colors. So you actually give them the 5 colors and you tell them buy a vegetable and a fruit in each color. And let them experiment. Let them then go on YouTube and look for a recipe that will cover those vegetables that they bought. So you get them involved early as possible with food so that they're not having these sort of anxiety issues surrounding food, because you start them from early. And if they don't like something, that's great. That's fine. Pick something else. So if they don't like squash or pumpkin, you also have carrots. If they don't like any vegetable that falls in the yellow or orange group, you have the fruit side. So they can get an orange. You can get a peach or whatever it is that falls
Sure.
in that color group. The important thing is that by the end of the week, at least, you cover all 5 colors. But
Yeah.
get them involved. Let them go buy it. Let them research how to cook it. Let them cook it themselves as much as possible, depending on the age.
Sure. Absolutely. I agree with that. I agree. Yeah. And I think you start teaching them when you start doing things like that,
Yeah.
you're teaching them that variety. You have less picky eaters because they've been
Hmm.
exposed to a lot of
Yeah.
things. And when you do that as a young age and you make it fun,
Yeah.
making it fun for kids is really important to do as well. Absolutely. I agree with that.
Mm.
You talked about, I have a couple of questions for you.
Sure.
One, I have 2 questions. I'm going to say the first one. So, should we worry about the caloric amount that we put in the lunchbox for the kids? Like, how many calories are they eating?
So it depends on the age of the child. And this
Mhm.
is where working with your pediatrician and your pediatric dietitian is important.
Okay.
Right? Because you should have someone tracking their weight, tracking their height for weight ratio. And that's what a
Okay.
pediatrician does, right? So
Right.
you
Right.
should have regular visits with them.
Okay.
Because, yes, it is a concern. We have a lot of overweight and obese children. We
Hmm.
have more children with type 2 diabetes, where we didn't have that long ago. So,
Hmm.
yes, it's something to monitor.
Okay.
So, you don't want to fill their boxes with a lot of processed foods. It's not the best choice, but it's not to say that they can't have snacks. So, you can have your favorite snack, but let's eat some carrots first.
Yeah.
Let's have a piece of orange or pineapple first. Right? So
Right.
it's not that they can't have it, but that's where those bento boxes, I think, are really helpful. So
Yeah.
you let them pack it, let them put their favorite snack, even if it's like a chocolate or something that, okay, it's not the best choice, it's high sugar. But that's the negotiation part. You can have that, no problem. But what else are you putting in your bento box? And let them choose from the variety that you have. Let them chop up the lettuce. Let them put the beans, whatever it is, let them pack it. And it's okay to have a snack. That's where the balance comes in, and you're teaching them balance.
And then they don't feel deprived. Then you don't have
Yeah,
that I'm deprived because of this. And I
yes,
think that's important for us as adults too, you know.
exactly.
I like my little taste of something sweet after a meal, you
Yeah,
know. I enjoy that as well. So I think that's really great to have. And I think
yeah,
about, you know, I love that you said a pediatric dietitian,
yeah,
because I think that I've never really talked to one, and you made me think about back when I took my kids to the doctor. Yeah, they were, you know, measured and height and weight and what ranking, you know, where did they fall into that? And so,
yeah,
you know, not putting that pressure on our kids, but being able to teach them the nutritional value of calories in, calories out, movement, things like that, and finding that balance in between. You can have this snack, but let's balance it with something else,
yeah.
go through that. I think that would be great. I could see parents having like a little chart on the refrigerator. You know, did you eat every color of the week? You know, every color of fruit for the
And let
week.
them put a star next to
Yeah,
the ones that so they fill out that their
yeah,
own part.
yeah.
And at the end of the week, if they do it, you take them for a movie or you take them to a park.
Mhm.
You know, you reward that good behavior.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Just give them a good old high five. I mean, I love that. And then
Yeah,
is there a certain balance? You know, I know for us, you know, like I use the Weight Watchers app, and I really try to watch my protein levels. And I probably should look at my fat content more than I do. I don't really pay attention to the amount of fiber in my diet.
yeah.
Like, should we be paying attention to a lot of that for our kids too? Or
Yeah.
is it just a little less so we don't have to keep an eye on it so much?
So the way you set up your plate is the same for children as for adults. It's just
Okay.
the portion size will differ. So for a healthy, balanced plate, half your plate should be veggies and a mix of raw and cooked, a mix of different colors. Quarter of your plate is your protein. And I always say start with some sort of peas or beans first and then add whatever meat you choose. And
Okay.
then the last quarter is your carbohydrates. That's your energy rich foods. And you want them to be high fiber foods. So
Okay.
brown rice, potatoes with the skin on, you know, whatever you choose, the same white whole wheat bread that Christy talked
Mhm.
about, all of those
Mhm.
things fall there. Now, your portion size will differ depending on the age of the child.
Mhm.
So, an adult may take half a chicken breast, your child may take quarter or even less. You
Sure.
may have to chop it up into slices or cubes for them. Whereas first you could put the whole chicken breast on the plate because for younger children especially, if you load up the plate too much, it gets overwhelming and their body shuts down. So in the same
Mm.
way we eat with our eyes first, too much food on the plate, your body it sends a signal like, okay, no, this is too much, and they shut down.
Really
Which is why they don't eat. Because it's just too much food.
interesting. It's
So you
overwhelming.
get a
Yeah.
smaller plate. There are even sites, and I know I saw it on Amazon that they actually have the dividers in them.
Okay.
So you could put, you know, little carbs go here, protein goes there. The plate is actually set up like that. You can get a smaller plate for them. And again, you let them put out how much they want. So you
I'm
get maybe a tablespoon and you put out the peas, you put out the rice. So you get a smaller utensil to put out their food. And the important thing is that they finish the plate. If they want more, great. But if it's too much, they end up leaving back food. And again, that fear of food, that anxiety kicks in.
I
So it's
love
best to eat a little bit. And then if they want more, they have a second sharing.
I love that for the fact, I mean, I think back to the original TV dinners, right? The biggest portion was the meat part of
Yeah,
the whole plate, and the vegetable was in a little container like
yeah,
this, and the apple pie, and then the
yeah.
mashed
So you
potatoes.
switch that
So we
around
were
a bit.
definitely messed up, but I love that you talked about how, like, so when I think that about those divided plates, I think people think that bigger portion is like for the main part of their meal, and then
Yeah, no,
we
it's
just
actually
eat a
for the
little
veggies.
we eat a little bit of veggies and a little bit of starch, but
Yeah,
I think that plate needs to be turned a little bit,
yeah.
right? And then that garden salad or those things to fill us up. And you were
Mhm.
making me think that. I know we're at our 30 minutes, but you were making me think that with kids, like, having a choice of what they wanted and then maybe carrots or something. Because by the time, if they eat those carrots first, by the time it hits their stomach, then they start feeling full, that
Yeah,
satiated feeling of, then they're not overeating on the other, which is a great habit for us to think about too. Eating those higher fibered foods probably help us start to feel full faster or sooner.
true. But they also do need a source of energy. So you don't want to cut out the carbs from their plate.
Right.
So, and this is where the portion size comes in, depending on the age of the child. So maybe start with 3 carrots, baby carrots, and 1 tablespoon of potatoes. And you chop up the meat into little cubes, and you try to make them evenly sized so that they can pick each one up with maybe a toothpick instead of
Yeah,
a fork. So they
sure.
end up picking up, creating a little appetizer for themselves. They're cute ways to get them to eat. And
Yeah.
once they finish, you ask them how if they want anything else. We let them wait a bit because it takes about 15 minutes for your brain to register how full you are. So you don't want to get seconds right away. Give it about 15 minutes. And then if they're still hungry, whatever they want to eat after that, because they've already covered the main stuff and the veggies on the plate already. So if they feel for extra meat or extra potatoes, at that point it doesn't matter because they've already eaten what they're supposed to eat.
Nice. I love that. Yes. Thank you so much for sharing all these great tips between our
Yeah,
nutritious lunchbox and just even giving our kids this. I love that you talked about the portion control for our
yeah.
kids and using a tablespoon instead of just slapping a big old
Yeah,
spoonful
yeah.
of
We
adult
tend to
size.
feed them like it's an adult, and no,
Yeah.
their stomachs are
No.
literally smaller, and
Yeah.
it's way too much for them. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you for everyone in our audience for commenting and sharing with us, Leslie and Christy, Nick, Linda. Appreciate you all so much, as well as Miss Natalie Thomas. Thank you, and thank you, Lisa Feveck, for joining us today. We
Not a
appreciate it
problem.
whenever you come on our show. Thanks for giving us great tips. We'll
You're
be
most
back.
welcome.
Yeah, we'll be back next Monday. Thank you, Lisa.
Take care, everybody.
Bye now.